Her Excellency Rasata Rafavitafika, Minister of Foreign Affairs for Madagascar, Martina Otto, Head of the Secretariat, Climate and Clean Air Coalition, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I bring warm greetings from His Excellency Mohamed Ali Yusuf, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this special session on the Africa Clean Air Program, which is convened here on the margins of the World Health Organization's second global conference on air pollution and health. This pre-conference event is a very critical opportunity for us to focus on our collective attention on a challenge that directly impacts the health, well-being and sustainable development of our continent. Africa's main goal is the realization of Agenda 2063, building an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens, representing a dynamic force in the international arena. This vision calls for an integrated and sustainable approach to our development as we expand on our energy, transport, agriculture, infrastructure, industry, and other economic sectors. Environmental challenges such as air pollution must be addressed for this development to be sustainable. Air pollution is a great threat to human health and is responsible for about 7 million deaths each year globally. In Africa, more than 1 million people die prematurely each year from exposure to both indoor and outdoor air pollution. Furthermore, air pollution is now considered as the second leading risk factor for death across Africa after malnutrition. Given the development trajectory of Africa, the situation is likely to get worse, especially in cities, unless measures are put in place to curb air pollution. Air pollution affects economic growth in many African countries that negatively affects their development. As an example, the cost of health damage from particulate matter, PM2s, exposure in 2019 in sub-Saharan Africa was estimated at 6% equivalent of gross domestic product in purchasing power parity, with 3.6% and 2.4% attributed to household air pollution and ambient air pollution, respectively. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the AU Commission, together with our partners, the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, the UNEP Regional Office for Africa, and the Stockholm Environment Institute, undertook an integrated assessment of air pollution and climate change in Africa from 2019 to 2022. We would like to acknowledge the advisory role played by the World Health Organization and other partners in the integrated assessment study. The assessment proposed a set of 37 mitigation measures to reduce emissions causing air pollution and climate change, clustered around 5 intervention areas related to transport, residential energy use, energy generation and industry, agriculture and food systems, as well as waste management. The 37 measures contribute towards realization of the objectives of the AU Climate Change and Resilient Development Strategy and Action Plan 2022 to 2032, the Paris Agreement, and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals in Africa. The measures further set the continent on a cleaner development pathway towards meeting the longer-term goals of the AU Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. The African Ministerial Conference on the Environment, AMCEN, a decision of 18 number 4, and the 5th ordinary session of the AU Specialized Technical Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Water and Environment urged the AU Commission to lead the collaboration with regional economic communities and the African Union member states to mobilize financial and technical resources to facilitate the development and implementation of the 37 recommended measures as a continent-wide Africa Clean Air Program, ACAP. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as the AU Commission, we have a coordinating role in the development of the Africa Clean Air Program. The main purpose of the Africa Clean Air Program is to have better air quality at continental level, healthier and more livable cities, and more specifically, to contribute to efforts towards achieving the AU Agenda 2063 ambitions, which are target of ensuring that all cities meet the WHO's ambient air quality standards. The development of the African Clean Air Program is driven by AU member states and requires the involvement and participation of diverse stakeholders. To further this work and to allow for peer-to-peer learning, I'm especially pleased today that our partners, Climate and Clean Air Coalition, are launching the Champion Countries Initiative for the Africa Clean Air Program. We recognize that countries are at different stages of addressing air pollution issues, and this program will assist in peer-to-peer learning as we engage in low-carbon development of our continent. Consequently, the AU Commission will continue to facilitate robust stakeholder consultations to promote the effective participation and coordination of national and regional stakeholders in the development and implementation of the Africa Clean Air Program, and will welcome other partners in this important journey. Through the Africa Clean Air Program, we are committed to 1. Strengthening air quality data management systems at the national and regional levels. We must establish air quality monitoring networks distributed across all African countries using harmonized regional instrumentation and data collection and management protocols. 2. Research, development and capacity strengthening. We must establish regional centers of excellence on air quality management and research to strengthen AQM capacities of AU member states and RECs. We also need to increase the capacity for integrated air quality and climate change modeling at local, national and regional scales. 4. Development and strengthening of air quality policy and legal frameworks in Africa. We must develop and strengthen air quality management policies, laws and regulations and standards at the subnational, national and regional levels. We must also promote and enhance information, education and communication to increase public awareness on air quality and health in Africa. We must build the capacity of policymakers, the practitioners and communities to implement effective solutions. Lastly, the development of a monitoring, evaluation and learning framework for ACAP. We must develop the ACAP framework to measure performance against air quality targets at the national, regional and continental levels. To effectively implement the Africa Clean Air Program, a multifaceted approach to financing is required, which includes increased domestic resource mobilization, enhanced international development assistance, private sector investment in clean technology, innovative financing mechanisms such as green bonds. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I underscore the importance of strategic partnerships for the development and implementation of Africa Clean Air Program. We recognize the existence of many initiatives within and outside the African continent that can be leveraged in this work. We call upon all stakeholders, therefore, be they governments, civil societies, the private sector, and international partners, to join us in this critical endeavor. Together we can create a cleaner, healthier, and more prosperous Africa for generations to come. I wish the champion countries all the best in driving this agenda forward. I thank you.